Hello, Year 11, this is Miss Wills here, and today we're going to be going over the lesson all to do with how to make hate funny. So, as you will be already aware, you'll be asked to either write an article or speech about a topic you feel passionately about. And you can either write about that topic in a way that will shock a reader, and we've kind of looked at already some articles and speeches that do that kind of evoke an emotional response that can be quite accusational, but also quite hopeful, optimistic, and encouraging as well. What we're going to look at now is we're going to look at how we can also use humour to criticise and mock a person or institution or a topic that you feel quite strongly about. So first of all, what I'd like you to think about is I'd like you to pick something that you are going to really mercilessly deride. Basically, that means you're going to really mock and criticize in this lesson. So here are some images for inspiration. I would like you to think about something that you would be able to quite easily mock and criticize, something you maybe find really annoying, or something you find you are really, or someone you find particularly ridiculous for whatever way, shape, or form. So I'd like you to pause this clip and to write down your idea for your topic, person, institution you are going to mercilessly deride. Okay. What we're going to look at now is just this lesson. We're going to look at a couple of examples of how writers have successfully kind of criticized and derided a institution or a person using humor, using satire and irony. So the first example we're going to look at just quite quickly is just this example here, which is an article about Love Island. So here we have the heading, No More Vacation. Winter Love Island. Sounded like a dream. The UK's most popular reality show, only in the winter. There'll be snow, presumably, with Mallorca replaced by its lonely ski resort. Perfect for fun-do and fondling. What a vision, what a plan. Besides, it was surely time to shake up the show that had turned ITV2 from an insomnia cure to a hit channel, as it moved from niche concern to national obsession. Alas, it has not come to pass. Winter Love Island ended up looking suspiciously like the boohoo-clad, protein shake-fueled normal Love Island, except it was set in South Africa. Okay, so there we have just a kind of snippet of an article which really does use satire and really criticises and mocks Love Island in quite a humorous way. So I would just like you to have a little look at that and firstly just think about what techniques have actually been used here to mock and criticise in this humorous way. So I want you to pause this clip and just kind of jot some ideas down around it. Okay, so a couple of things you might have picked out is first of all, in places we have quite a conversational tone and colloquial. The show only in the winter, in moments as well to kind of add to that humour. We have the show Snow Bituminely in Mallorca. We've got the nice use of alliteration here, fondue and fondling, and the use of humour there. We've got this kind of upbeat, criticising tone throughout also. So turn from an insomnia cure, obviously we have that metaphor there, to a hit channel as it moved from niche concern to national obsession. Last does not come to pass, and here we have some quite kind of witty comments made. Yes, like boohoo clad protein shake fuel normal Love Island. So we've got those kind of ridiculous statements about it as well, which are quite humorous and quite funny, and obviously quite criticizing as well that we can see throughout. So we're just starting to see this tone being built here. What we're going to look at now then is we're going to look at a piece of writing from Frankie Boyle. And this piece of writing derides a specific figure, Donald Trump, who we know has had much criticism in the past. So what we're going to do is we're going to read this article here, and we're going to have a little think about, okay, what is actually being said here? What impact is Frankie Boyle trying to have on the audience, and what techniques have been used in order to do this? So What we're going to do first of all is we're going to read through it. And if you can just jot down any kind of techniques that have been used, anything that you think is particularly effective as well. Is Trump the worst leader the free world has ever had? In a word he would understand. Duh. He's a supervillain in a world without heroes, a man so obnoxious and unhappy that karma may see him reincarnated as himself. Kind of wish he'd get therapy, but this stage it's like hiring a window cleaner for a burning building. Still difficult to classify him exactly. He's not a classic Nazi, but would burn books if his supporters knew how to read. And right now, Trump is behaving so strangely, we're probably about a month away from not being allowed to make jokes about him. He's gone past Charlie Sheen and we're now entering the bold Britney phase. It's hard to imagine how America can go back to having a normal president after this. The next president will have to be a car with guns for wheels. Trump is a president with the temperament of a wasp that spent 40 minutes on hold listening to "Your call is important to us" and elevator music. His Twitter feed reads like he's building up a credible insanity defense for when he's finally impeached. It's not just that he lives on Twitter, he embodies it. Digressive, petty, trivial, poisonous, and self-aggrandizing. He basically speaks like a totally random stream of tweets. 1 minute he's on Mexicans, and then he's talking about his shoes, then a threat, then a joke about a cat. Last week he held a rally in Phoenix, Arizona, possibly because he thought he'd blend into a state that is orange, desolate, and has a cavernous gap in its heart so huge people travel the world just to gasp and cry. Trump delivered one of his random right-wing word collages in front of a crowd who, if they were any whiter, would have had carrots for noses. Imagine standing up in Arizona and talking about preserving white culture. White guys have only been in Arizona for 150 years. That's not even enough time to fill a Costa loyalty card. He's literally standing in Apache land, 150 years after their genocide, talking about protecting American culture. Okay, so that is this piece of kind of satirical writing here about Trump. What we're going to think about now is kind of break it down and have a look at what kind of key techniques have been used here to create this humour and criticise Trump at the same time. It is obvious from this that this person has a negative opinion of Trump, that he is dangerous. He is likening him in some ways to Nazis, so controlling, a dangerous figure there. He's also kind of drawn upon his stupidity as well and his insensitivity throughout this. That's kind of an image that's being built of Donald Trump straight away. But also the ridiculousness of his character, I suppose. The fact that a character like this is in a position of power. And we get these kind of ridiculous comparisons and connections made throughout about the wasp and elevator music, about the car with guns for wheels, about the loyalty card, just to really emphasize the ridiculousness of him as well. So I just want you to write down now answers to these questions. So what is Frankie Boyle's view of Donald Trump after reading this? What does he want the reader to feel as they read this article, and how does he use humour to make this message powerful? So this is essentially a piece of satire, and satire is, as I say, it's here, and you can get this down your notes, the use of humour, irony, exaggeration or ridicule to expose and criticise people's stupidity or vices. So we're going to have a little look at where we see the use of humour, where we see the use of irony, ridicule, etc., and where we see this in this piece of writing. So first of all, I would like you to answer these questions. If you just pause this clip to give that a go. Okay, so now it's time to look at some techniques that have been used that I would like you to practice using as well. So the first one is the craft technique 1, and this is asking a question and answering it. So here we had at the beginning of this, is Trump the worst leader of the free world ever? In a word he would understand. Duh. So I want you to think about how could you go looking back to your topic, your hate topic that you chose at the beginning of the lesson. How can I want you to create your own sentence here where you ask the question and you answer it. Off you go. So just pause this to give that a go. Okay, now we're going to look at craft technique number 2. So here we have a few times it's said, we have the phrase starting with saw something that this could happen. Now I just want you to see how this is being used in this article first of all. Here we have some examples. A man so obnoxious and unhappy that karma may seem reincarnated himself. We could easily apply this really to any topic. And I would like you to do this for your own topic as well, for whatever you have chosen at the beginning of the lesson. Here are just some more examples from this text as well. Trump is behaving so strangely that we're probably about a month away from not being allowed to make jokes. A cavernous gap in his heart so huge people travel the world just to gasp and cry. So we've got quite a few. I would like you to try and create one for your own hate topic. So if you just pause this clip again and give that a go. Okay. Final technique we'll look at then is crazy, ridiculous simile and metaphors that really kind of make us laugh. So, for example, in this piece, we had a president with the temperament of a wasp that spent 40 minutes on hold listening to your call is important to us. And we also had it's like hiring a window cleaner for a burning building. So those kind of ridiculous comparisons there. What I would like you to do is to try and create a crazy simile and metaphor for your hate object. So likening it to something utterly crazy and ridiculous by using a simile and metaphor. So again, if you could pause this video clip to give that a go. Okay, final thing I would like you to do today is it says in here you've got 6 minutes, but just to spend maybe 10 minutes on this. I want you to put together just a paragraph about your chosen hate object using the 3 techniques we've looked at today. So hopefully you've managed to create those sentences. Now I want you to try and put those together and include them in maybe an opening paragraph for a piece of writing where you are going to deride in a satirical, humorous way something that you hate. And that is the final task for this lesson today. Okay, thank you very much for listening, Year 11, and I hope you have fun with writing to hate or making hate funny.